Should I use this? You should. Mic. Should I use the mic or is it okay? Is my voice audible? Let us start with today's discussion. Today we have environment, right? Yesterday we discussed about geography's PYQs. And what is the learning that we came from geography's PYQs? Based on knowledge and yeah. So in environment, it is not like that. The things that worked in geography will not work the same way in environment. In environment, it's mostly about common sense. Now, what do I mean by common sense? What is common sense? General knowledge. But for anyone that is preparing for UPSC, the general knowledge is different. Okay. For the universal general knowledge is common sense. For people preparing for UPSC, it is what you study. The sense that you gain from studying all the subjects is called common sense for UPSC aspirants. So whenever I say common sense, it is common for all the UPSC aspirants, not general public. Okay, so it's not general public. It is UPSC aspirants that I'm talking about. That is the common sense. So in environment, it is more about common sense. There's no need for you to have a specific understanding of a particular concept. Even UPSC does not say that you need specialization in environment. It only says that you need understanding, and that understanding comes from reading the books and gaining common sense. So let us understand how the common sense works and what are some tricks that we can use when it is very hard for us to understand that particular question or answer that particular question. Okay. So yeah, we have nearly 150 questions. Okay, sure. I'll take it a little fast. Is that okay? 150 questions is a lot. So, and we have less time. So I'll take a little fast. Okay. Studies indicate, is it visible? Yeah. Studies indicate that carbon dioxide emission from cement industry account for more than 5% of global carbon emissions. It does not say that it is wrong. Here, if you look at the statements, nowhere it's saying that is the first statement wrong. So basically, first statement is right. Okay. Silica bearing clay is mixed with limestone while manufacturing the cement. Basic procedure. Okay. Silica is mixed with limestone to make cement. Limestone is converted into lime during clinker production for cement manufacturing. He's saying that these two are the procedures, and in one of those procedures there is studies indicating that carbon dioxide emissions from cement industry accounts for more than 5% of the carbon emission. Why? So one of the reasons is present here. So both the statements are right, and one of them is explained. So answer is. Similarly, here you can see carbon dioxide emission in India are less than 0.5 T CO2 per capita. I'm not sure about this. Right? In terms of CO2 emission from fuel combustion, India ranks second in Asia Pacific region. Again, I'm not sure. Electricity and heat producers are the largest source of CO2 emission in India. This a little I know. Now, there's something that I also know, that whenever UPSC gives numbers, that is usually wrong. Yeah. So if we eliminate this, what do you have? What do we already know? The 3 is right. But from what do we know from options? 2 is obviously right. So what am I using? Many chewing gums found in the market are considered as a source of environmental pollution. Avoiding extremes. What is it doing? It's avoiding extremes. It is saying many. It's not saying all. And many chewing gums contain plastic as a gum base. Again, it is using many. So there might be a chance that many chewing gums are hazardous and many chewing gums contain plastic. Again, common sense. PFAS are found to be widespread in drinking water, food, and food packaging materials. It is just generalizing. It is giving a general statement that it is present in all of these. PFAS is present in drinking water, food, and food packaging materials. PFAS are not easily degradable in the environment. Obviously, if it is a substance, it is not easily degradable. Persistent exposure to PFAS can lead to bioaccumulation in human bodies. True. So all of them are true. There's no specific understanding that I need about PFAS. It is only generalized statements that is given. So in environment, if you see, majority of the statements are generalized. It will not ask specific statements at all. Out of the 90 questions they might ask, or out of the 100%, 90 questions will be generalized. 10% will be factual. Let us look at how factual questions are also there. Okay, there are many questions here, so I'm going a little fast. I hope it's okay. Yeah. According to the Environment Protection Agency, which one of the following is the largest source of sulfur dioxide emission? Here it has given 4 options, right? Locomotive using fossil fuels, ships using fossil fuels, extraction of metals from ores, and power plants using fossil fuels. Here, everything is using fossil fuels. But if you see here, power plants use coal, and that coal is heated using fossil fuels. It is double. Here it is only using for locomotives, meaning for moving. For a rail to move, they are using fossil fuels. For a ship to move, they are using fossil fuels. So only fossil fuel is used in one. But here, in the 4th option, how many times is it used? 2 times. So will the sulfur dioxide be more or less? It will be more compared to all of these. What is this? It's nothing but common sense. Yeah. Pyroclastic debris, ash dust, nitrogen compounds, and sulfur compounds. How many of the above products are volcanic eruptions? All 4. Why? Some things are there which we cannot prove at all. We cannot say that sulfur compounds are not produced. We cannot say that nitrogen compounds are not produced. We cannot go to the volcano. No, it's very hard for us to go to the volcano and tell that, acha, yeah, debris is being formed. Yes, ash is rising. There are some aspects where we cannot actually say that, actually prove some things are happening. Usually, whenever UPSC gives questions or statements which cannot be proven, right? These are usually present in history, but sometimes these also work in environment. Okay, so that is why all 4 is the answer. Consider the following: aerosol, foam agents, fire retardants, lubricants. In making of how many of the above HFCs are used? Now I know that the nature of HFC is that it is evaporative in nature. It condenses and evaporates easily. That is why they are using it in fire extinguishers. Why? If I use it, it will extinguish as soon as possible. So HFC is what? Evaporating fastly. Can I make a lubricant with something that is evaporating? What is a lubricant? Lubricant is nothing but an oil. Can I make an oil with something that evaporates? If something is evaporating, can I make an oil out of it? Sure. Evaporate. When it evaporates, I cannot make oil. So obviously, you cannot make lubricants out of HFC. You can only make aerosol, foaming agents, and fire retardants. For that, I need a common sense of how HFCs work. So whenever you are looking at a pollutant, UPSC's favorite topics is pollutant. It has asked nearly 70 questions on pollutants. Okay, so whenever you are reading about pollutants, know their features. What are the pollutants? What is HFC? What is PFC? What is PFAS? What is PAN? UPSC nearly asked 90 questions, as I said, 70 to 90 questions. Many questions it has asked. Okay. Take all of the pollutants that UPSC asked and research a little on them and how they will work, because UPSC is consistently asking these pollutants only. I'll show you how UPSC is consistently asking these pollutants and these topics. Okay. So yeah, lubricants. This is yesterday's question, gold mining. Polyethylene tetrafluoride. It is a fiber. Its fibers can be blended with wool and cotton fibers to reinforce their properties. Can be. It is a possibility. Anything is a possibility in environment and science. Yeah. Containers made of it can be used to store alcohol beverage. Is it? Have you ever seen alcohol being stored in plastic bottles? It is also saying any. You cannot store any, because alcohols, what is alcohol's nature? Alcohol is a solvent. If you put it in anything, it will dissolve everything. So if you put it in PET bottles, what will happen? It will dissolve the PET bottle. So that is why alcoholic beverages are not put in PET bottles. That is why if you actually see here, non-alcoholic beverages are put in PET bottles. Others all are put in tins and glass bottles. Yeah. 2 is wrong. Bottles made out of it can be recycled into other products. True. Articles made of it can be easily disposed by incineration without causing any greenhouse gas emission. Common sense. If you burn a PET bottle, what will happen? Greenhouse gas emission will happen. So, if you remove 4 and if you remove 2, what is the answer? 1, 3. Magnetite particles suspected to cause neurodegenerative problems are generated as environmental pollutants from which of the following? Brakes of motor vehicles, engines of motor vehicles, microwave stoves within homes, power plants, and telephone lines. For these, you need absolute knowledge of what magnetite is. Magnetite is something that is sticking. It has magnetic properties. Do telephone lines have magnetic properties? Telephone lines. Do they have magnetic properties? Are you sure? If you go to the telephone line, will it stick? No. What is the knowledge I needed to have? What is a magnetite particle? Magnetite is something that sticks. Telephone lines do not stick. I just had to eliminate telephone lines. I got the answer. Do you know what a magnet is? Yeah. What does magnet do? It will stick to metals. Now, telephone lines, do they stick to anything? No. Means, do they have magnetite particles? No. That's it. Yeah. Why is there a concern about copper smelting plants? They may release lethal quantities of carbon monoxide into environment. What is lethal? Very heavy amount that kills people. So do they release? If copper smelting plants actually released lethal amounts of carbon monoxide, would they allow them? No. Obviously, first statement is wrong. That is why these kind of tricks do not work. That is why I tell you, do not rely on tricks. Rely on your knowledge, rely on your common sense. Okay, do not rely on tricks. If you rely on tricks, what will happen? You would have seen May and you said, yeah, maybe copper smelting plants would have released lethal amounts of carbon monoxide, and you'll take right. Okay, first one is wrong. And if you remove the first one, what is the answer? 2 and 3. You didn't even have to know whether copper slag can cause leaching of some heavy metals, or if they may release sulfur dioxide as a pollutant. You only had to know whether they release lethal amounts of carbon monoxide or not. What would happen if carbon monoxide is released in lethal amounts? What will happen? What will happen if carbon monoxide is released in lethal amounts? Yeah, you will not be able to breathe. Your free radicals in your body, the oxygen free radicals in your body will attach and you will stop breathing. So yeah, triclosan. This again is very factual. You only had to know, only when you knew what triclosan is, then only you would be able to answer this. Otherwise, I would suggest you guys to not answer these. But what you need to know is that whenever UPSC is asking these kind of questions, you need to take notes. It has asked about food preservatives, fruit ripening substance, reused plastic containers, and toiletries. Right? Triclosan is a toiletry. Now, UPSC on multiple times has asked about reused plastic containers. We just now saw on PET. Right? There are other questions on reused plastic also. Now, UPSC also has used these two particular topics in separate questions. We have to know what food preservatives are. Do you know what the food preservatives are in the market? What if you got a question on which of the following are food preservatives in UPSC in 2026? You have sodium benzoate, potassium metabisulfate, sulfur dioxide, sorbic acid, and acetic acid. All of these are food preservatives. And when it comes to fruit ripening substances, you have acetylene gas, calcium carbide, and ethylene gas. These are the three food ripening substances. Is it visible? Should I repeat once again? Yeah. First one is potassium metabisulfate, then sodium benzoate, sulfur dioxide, sorbic acid, and acetic acid. Then in fruit ripening substances, you have acetylene gas, calcium carbide, and ethylene gas. Dioxide, sulfur dioxide. Bisphenol A, a cause of concern, is a structural key component in manufacture of which are the following kinds of plastics? As I told you just now, UPSC's favorite plastics. It has been asking like this. So whenever you see the options now, try to take a little notes on them. What is a reused plastic? Right? Reused plastic is nothing but polythene tetraphthalate. Okay, but here bisphenol A is a concern because of polycarbonate. You had to know this. This is a very factual statement. Yeah, it's a factual question. So only if you had idea on what bisphenol A is, only then you will be able to answer this particular question. Otherwise, I would suggest you guys to leave these kind of questions. Okay. Furnace oil. It is a product of oil refineries. Some industries use to generate power. Some. Its use causes sulfur emission into environment. All of these are very generic statements. It is not any specific, right? Whenever there are generic statements, what will happen? Usually there, right? So answer is 1, 2, and 3. Consider the following statements. Coal ash contains arsenic, lead, and mercury. Coal fire plants release sulfur dioxide and nitrogen into the environment. High ash content is observed in Indian coals. All of these are true. Yeah. What are the components of Indian coal? High ash. Less fume. What about the ash? Ash is high. What about the calorific value? Is it high or low? Why? There's low sulfur content and high moisture. That is why Indian coal is low in calorific value. Calorific value is low in Indian coal. Okay. The answer is D. In which of the following are the reasons or factors for the exposure of benzene population? Now I know that benzene is usually caused by burning. Whenever you burn something, that releases benzene. Let's look at the options. Automobile exhaust. What is happening there? There's burning of fuel. Tobacco smoke. What is happening there? Burning. Wood burning. Is there burning in used varnished food furniture? No. Is there burning in used food products, using products of polyurethane? I don't even know what that is. But I know that benzene is only found when there is something burning. So 4 and 5. How benzene is found when tobacco is smoked?
Tobacco smoke, second option.
You're burning, no? How does tobacco burn? How does the smoke come?
How benzene will be in tobacco?
Benzene is not in tobacco. The components that are present, whenever they are burnt, they release benzene. That is how components are made. Now, I don't know how much chemistry is there. I am not a chemistry teacher, so I cannot exactly say that how benzene is released. Yeah, anything burning that releases benzene. Yeah, that is what I said. That is why it's common sense. I know that burning something is releasing benzene. I know that burning something is releasing benzene, but other than that, I don't know anything. Yeah. So answer is 1, 2, and 3. In India, the use of carbofuran, methylparathione, phorate, and triaphos is viewed with apprehension. These chemicals are used in. We just now seen that what are preservatives that are used in food, and what are the fruit ripening agents that we've seen. Are they there? No. So B and C are gone. Right? At least we are able to eliminate by using analysis of PYQs. Yeah? It is nothing but pesticides. You had to know it. Yeah? So there are some questions where you have to know some things. Otherwise, you will not be able to answer. And in UPSC usually gives these kind of questions because it knows that no matter how much you study, there's still something that you don't know. UPSC wants to prove that point. It wants to prove that point that no matter how much you study, I still know more than you. So that is why it will give you these kind of questions. Because you will not be searching for something that is called carbofuran or methylparathione or phorate. Will you be searching? No, you will not be searching for that. That is why UPSC is giving these kind of questions. Yeah. Why is there a great concern about microbeads that are released into the environment? Okay. They are considered harmful for the marine ecosystem. They are considered to cause skin cancer in children. Specific. It is narrow. Rather than specific, it's being narrow. It is only confining it to children. They are small enough to be absorbed by crop plants in irrigated fields. Again, it is being narrow. They are often found to be used as food adulterants. Again, narrow. Which of the options is broad? First one. What is it saying? It's saying that they are considered harmful to marine ecosystems. Broad. It is not narrowing it down to something. So whenever something is broad, usually that answer is right. So answer is A. Which of the above are released into the atmosphere due to the burning of crop biomass? What are released? Carbon monoxide is released, methane is released, ozone is released, sulfur dioxide is released. Do I have to know, do I have to burn crops to know whether these are burnt coming or not? No, there's no need for me to burn all of these. But I know that's burning obviously releases all of these. Yeah, answer is D. And majority of the times whenever UPSC gives pollutions, it is usually all, like usually. Now this ratio is not even 90%. This ratio is 70 to 80%. Okay, 70 to 80% of the times, whenever UPSC is giving pollutions, it is all. Okay.
Sir, ozone is emitted when it is in presence of sunlight.
Not necessarily. That is stratospheric. Oh, how does ozone form? When oxygen molecule and oxygen free radical come together. So oxygen is present in the atmosphere. So when things like crop residue is burnt, there is some oxygen releasing because plants produce oxygen. So some oxygen is there that is stored is released. It is mixing with the oxygen that is present in the atmosphere and forming ozone. That's it. Look at this statement. Consider the following pairs: commonly used or consumed materials, unwanted or controversial chemicals likely to be found in them. Likely. It's not saying always. If it would have been always, we can eliminate. But it's saying likely, meaning that there is at least 0.1% chance. Now, isn't there a 0.1% chance where lipstick includes lead? Huh? Isn't there a 0.1% chance where brominated vegetable oil is present in soft drinks? Isn't there a 1% chance where Chinese fast food includes monosodium glutamate? It is giving hints. UPSC always gives hints. You just have to be aware.
But if we don't know that substance, how then we?
That is why UPSC is giving these questions now. What will you do when you don't know anything? I'll give you questions that you don't know. How will you react? How will you come up with an answer? Because that is what will help you if you become an IAS or IPS officer. Because now we have textbooks. But once you go onto the field, do you have a textbook? Do you have a mentor? You'll not have a mentor, you'll not have a textbook. You'll have to take decisions on your own. And what will you do when you come up with a solution where nothing is happening? Right? There is someone fighting. You have to come up with a solution. You cannot go and you don't do that. You obviously have to do something. And this is how UPSC is trying to train you from prelims, mains, and also in the interview. Then again, they'll take you to the Lavasana and then they'll train you there. So, okay, the training starts from here, not there. Okay. So, yeah. Brominated flame retardants are used in many household products, likely mattresses and upholstery. Why is there some concern about their use? They are highly resistant to degradation in the environment. Did you ever see a mattress degrade easily? What is mattress? Something that you sleep on. They throw it on the road, but they'll not degrade. They are able to accumulate in humans and animals. Brominated flame retardants. Anything that is retardant, right? It is on the surface. Obviously, it will go into the nose. It is obviously bioaccumulative. Answer is both 1 and 2. There is some concern regarding the nanoparticles. It's talking about nanoparticles. They can accumulate in the environment and contaminate water and soil, obviously. Nanoparticles. They can enter food chains. They can trigger the production of free radicals. True. Anything that is nanoparticle can trigger. So all of them are true. Answer is 1 to 3. If you can see here, all of them I'm solving based on what? Is based on knowledge. No. It's all based on common sense. Nothing is there here. Environment is very easy. Do not stress on environment by studying many books. There's no need for you to study many books. Whenever you're coming with geography or whenever you're coming with economy, try to learn concepts. But whenever it comes to environment, try to build common sense. And that common sense you can only build through all of these questions. Yeah. Which of the following are important pollutants released by steel industry in India? Which of them are? All are there. Yeah. Photochemical smog is the resultant of the reaction among its NO2, O3 and peroxyacetyl nitrate. I need to have an information on how photochemical smog forms. Only when I have information on what photochemical smog is, then I'll be able to answer this. Otherwise, I cannot answer. Yeah? The answer is A. Which of the following pollutants can be found as pollutants in drinking water in some parts of India? Arsenic, yeah. Fluoride, yes. Uranium, yes. But I don't know what sorbitol is, but I know what formaldehyde is. What is formaldehyde? What is formaldehyde? Formaldehyde is a VOC, volatile organic compound, that mixes into the air. It is a pollutant. It is not present in the ground. It is present in air. So remove. I know what 1 3 is there, 5 is there. Answer is? What did I have to know? I only had to know one thing, that formaldehyde is present in air. Other than that, did I have to know anything else? No. Due to the improper, indiscriminate disposal of old and used computers or their parts, which of the following are released into environment as e-waste? Here he has given how many? 7. What is 7? Beryllium, cadmium, chromium, heptachlor, mercury, lead, and plutonium. I don't know any of these, but what I know is that what is plutonium? Nuclear. It is radioactive. Now, will I put something radioactive in a computer? Yeah. We are trying to generate plutonium from this restage program. How can we put something that we are generating that we have less abundant of in a computer? Yeah. What if we remove plutonium here? Just remove the option 7. Remove 7. Common sense. That plutonium is not used in computers. That is all I have to do. Environment is totally about common sense. Nothing else. There are some factual questions out of the 150. I think 10 to 12 factual questions are there. But other than that, everything is what? Common sense only. Yeah? CFCs. Chlorofluorocarbons known as ozone depleting substance are used in. Just like HFC. HFC is what? Something that is evaporating, that can condense easily. Similarly, CFC is also there. We are replacing CFC with HFC, no? So something that is also condensable and evaporatable. We can use it in foams, yes. We can use it in cleaning certain electronics, true. We can use it in aerosol, again true. But can we use it in production of tubeless tires? How can you use something that is evaporating to make tubeless tires? Obviously, you cannot use. Obviously, 2 is wrong. Answer is, if you remove 2, you have 1, 3, and 4. Are you seeing the pattern here? Yesterday we discussed about geography, which was more factual, but today's environment is more based on common sense only. Okay, so whenever you're studying environment, try to build that common sense. Okay, do not study facts as it is, or do not study statements as it is. This is why we are putting this PYQ analysis. It's not to tell you about any tricks. It's not to tell you about any tricks. It is not to give you any rapid revision. It is to show you what kind of questions UPSC is asking, so that you will be prepared. Rather than going blindly, you will at least know that in environment you will only get common sense questions. In geography, you will only get factually based questions. You'll go into the exam hall prepared like this. Others who are not aware of what is happening here will go and they'll get shocked, and they'll say that UPSC's question paper is very tough. Only when you know, you'll be prepared. If you know that someone is standing by the door, is waiting for you to scare you, will you be scared? No, because you already know that the person is there. Just like that, UPSC also know what is happening here. Okay. Lead ingested or inhaled is a health hazard. After the addition of lead to petrol has been banned, what still are the sources of lead poisoning? Smelting units, obviously. Pens and pencils. Are pens and pencils part of lead poisoning? No. What will happen? We wouldn't even give our pencil to our kid then. Why are we giving pencils and pens to kids if they had lead poisoning? Obviously no. 2 is wrong. Remove 2. Common sense again. I think we answered this now. COP. At the 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference, India refrained from signing the Declaration of Climate and Health. It's saying that this is true. It did not say that this is false. It's saying it is giving here. COP28 Declaration on Climate and Health is a binding declaration, and if signed, it becomes mandatory to decarbonize health sector. How can it be mandatory something? Something cannot be mandatory whenever it comes to health. I mean, environment. If you make it mandatory, all the developing countries and underdeveloped countries will suffer. So obviously statement 2 is wrong. If India's health sector is decarbonized, the resilience of its healthcare system may be compromised. That is why it did not sign. So it's actually, answer is C. Only one of them is explaining and one of it is wrong. Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on climate change is frequently discussed in the global discussion on sustainable development and climate change. True. Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on climate change sets out principles of carbon markets. Yes. Article 6 of the Paris Agreement climate change intends to promote inter-country non-market strategies to reach their climate targets. Again, true. There is a very generic statement. There's nothing specific here. It is only saying that they are promoting carbon markets. Now, what are the carbon markets in India? How are they regulated in India? Carbon markets. How are carbon markets regulated in India? Under which act? Carbon markets. It is regulated under the Carbon Credit Trading Scheme 2023. There's certain rules that have been brought. Carbon Credit Trading Scheme in 2023. Now, what is under which act is Carbon Credit Trading Scheme? Which act? Ashok. It is Energy Conservation Act 2001. Energy Conservation Act 2001 is the act under which it is given. The Carbon Credit Trading Scheme is under Energy Conservation Act 2001, and it is mainly monitored by Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Yeah, it is implemented by Bureau of Energy Efficiency. It is under Energy Conservation Act 2001. Right? Okay. Which one of the following launched the National Solution Finance Hub for Asia and Pacific? Again, this is that is a current affairs question. You cannot do anything that is related to current affairs, right? You have to study current affairs. So I would suggest you guys to take some magazine, some environment magazine, and try to study all the current affairs. Because UPSC is asking some current affairs questions. It will ask you some question on at least 1 or 2 questions in every year. So I would suggest you guys to take a magazine and read it cover to cover every year. Fine. So yeah, here the answer is Asian Development Bank. Right. In the European Parliament approved the Net Zero Industry Act recently. The European Union intends to achieve carbon neutrality by 2030. Whenever UPSC gives years or some facts, they're usually wrong. So if you go on that, this is wrong and this is right. This is a very plain statement. It is only saying that European Parliament approved the Net Zero Industry Act recently. That is actually in the news. So yeah, answer is what? C. Here, I've been always telling you that UPSC always gives you a hint. Yeah. Let us look at this particular question. Which one of the following is the correct description of 100 million farms? Yeah. It is a platform for accelerating transition towards food and water systems that are net zero, nature positive, and that aims to increase farmer resilience. Not sure. It is an international alliance and a network of individuals farming organizations interest in supporting and strengthening development of organic animal husbandry. Very specific. It is a digital platform fully integrated with service providers and built on blockchain that lets buyers and sellers and third parties trade fertilizers. Again, very specific. It is a platform with mission of encouraging farmers to form a farmer produce organization or agribusiness consortium, thus facilitating access to global open markets to sell their products. Now, we have eliminated B and C, but A and D look very similar. Yeah, but let us look at what is very broad. Here it is saying it is a platform with mission of encouraging farmers to form FPOs and agribusiness consortium, meaning that only those who form agribusiness consortium or FPOs will get the benefit. But here it is a platform for accelerating transition towards food and water systems that are net zero, nature positive, and that aims to increase farmer resilience. It is including all the farmers. So which is more broad? Answer is A. For that you need very aware. You should observe and you should be very aware to get all of these answers. Because if you are not aware, you will get confused between these two questions. Many students have come to me and told me that, sir, we are attempting all the questions, but we are stuck at two options. Why? Because you are not being observant. You have to revise and you have to be observant. You have to be very aware in the exam. Only when you are aware, you will be able to answer all of these questions. Because UPSC is always trying to make you pass. Yeah? Carbon markets are likely to be one of the most widespread tools in fighting against climate change. Carbon markets transfer resource from private sector to the state. Both are true. But are they explaining each other? No. Answer is B. Very simple. Climate Action Tracker, which monitors the emission reduction pledges of different countries, is a. There is this one trick when it comes to environment, right? This usually works. Okay, I'm not saying this is a 100% short elimination technique, but it usually works. It works 80% or 90% of the time. Okay, that is whenever UPSC gives international organizations, it is usually wrong, and that works usually in the case of environment. Okay, here let's see how many international organizations are given here. How many international organizations are given here in this particular? C, international organization. D, international organization. B, international organization. Which option there is no international organization? Yeah. So usually whenever international organization is given, it's usually wrong. Usually wrong. It's not 100%. Okay. With reference to the New York Declaration on Forests, which one of the following statements are correct? It was first endorsed by United Nations Climate Summit. What is it? Huh? It is an international organization. First one is wrong. It endorses global timeline to end losses of forest. Not sure. It is legally binding on international declaration. Something is legally binding, I don't know. It is endorsed by governments, big companies, and indigenous communities. Right? What is right? Oh, it's not an international organization. Sorry. This is why tricks do not work. Yeah, that is why I'm saying tricks do not work that much. Okay, let us look at here. Let us look at all of the options. It was first endorsed at United Nations Climate Summit in 2014. Not sure. It endorses a global timeline to end the loss of forests. It is legally binding international declaration. It is endorsed by government, big companies, and indigenous communities. Obviously, what is it talking about? Forests. Whenever it is talking about forest, who can you include? Indigenous communities. So 4 is right. Remove something that does not have 4. It is removing B and D. So the options we have are 1, 2, 4, and 3 and 4. Now that we know 4 is right, let us look at options 1, 2, and 3. We know that 5 is wrong completely. Yeah. Is something that is legally binding? Are usually environmental acts or environmental laws legally binding? No. So if you had to remove statements from 1, 2, and 3, which one would you remove more? 3. Remove 3. What is the answer? A. Carbon, common carbon metric. Again, UPSC is usually giving hints, right? That's why I ask you to focus on etymology. What is etymology? Based on the word. You need to study the word. Whenever it comes to environment, look at the words. Look at all of the headings that are given, right? Whenever you look at all of the headings that are given, you will have some hint. Because if you look at the options, you will be lost. But if you look at the question, it will give you a direction. So whenever you're solving environment, look at the etymology or the question. It's saying common carbon metric, something that is common and is a carbon metric. Now let us look at the options. Enabling commercial farming. So assessing the carbon footprint of building operations around the world. Enabling commercial farming entities around the world to enter carbon emission trading. Commercial farming only, very specific. So it's not common. Enabling governments, only governments. Again, it is not common. Assessing the overall carbon footprint caused by use of fossil fuels. Carbon is only produced by fossil fuels, or is it produced by something else also? So is it common? No. Assessing the carbon footprint of building operations around world. That is the answer. That is why you need to look at the etymology more. Okay. Page. Yeah, this is very factual. As I told you, some questions, there are very factual questions that you have to know. Here, that is a very factual question. Page, a partnership for action on green economy page, a UN mechanism to assist countries transition towards green and more inclusive economies emerged at B. Yeah, this is a very factual question. I'm just showing this because UPSC in environment also it will ask factual questions. You think that environment is all about common sense, but it's also asking factual questions. So there's no common sense here. There's no way to eliminate also. Okay. Until and unless you know everything about all of these, you cannot eliminate. If you do not know, what will you do? Leave. Do not go into ego. Climate and Clean Air Coalition to reduce short-lived climate pollutants is a unique initiative of, what is it? What is G20? What is G20? It is an international organization. What did I say just now? Usually when UPSC gives international organizations, it is usually wrong. The CCAC focuses on methane, black carbon, and hydrofluorocarbons. Yeah, all of these are short-lived climate pollutants. What are the short-lived climate pollutants? List. Methane, black carbon, ozone, and HFC. All these are short-lived climate pollutants. What is the timeline of methane? How many years does it stay? It's short-lived, no? 12 years. 12 years is when methane can stay. Black carbon stays for days or weeks, days to weeks. Ozone stays for days to weeks, whereas HFC stays for decades. Okay, these are all the short-lived climate pollutants. Next, which of the following statements are correct? Proper design and effective implementation of UN RED Plus program can significantly contribute to protection of biodiversity, resilience of forest ecosystem, and poverty reduction. If it is only RED, REDD, yeah, it would have been, what is REDD? Regeneration and degradation. Yeah, all of these is present in RED. RED Plus means it is including more. What is it including? Supporting people, sustainability, all of these are included. So obviously it includes poverty reduction. So all three is optional. Where is it given? It is given in the question. That is why I'm asking you guys to look at the question. Whenever you are solving MCQs or questions based on environment, look at the question. Okay, do not let go of the question. Question will give you a lot of information. I'll show you more questions are there where statements in the question help you get an answer. Okay. Consider the following pairs or terms sometimes seen in the news. Annex 1 countries, Cartagena Protocol, Certified Emission Reductions, Nagoya, Clean Development Mechanism, Kyoto. What is it? What is Cartagena? Cartagena Protocol. Yeah, living modified organisms. It's talking about genetically modified organisms and living modified organisms. So is it Annex 1 countries? No. Certified Annex 1 countries are part of Kyoto Protocol. Right. Kyoto Protocol has Annex 1, Annex 2, non-Annex, and what do you call country B countries. Okay. Annex 1 countries are those countries that are developed countries. Okay. And Annex 2 countries are those that are developing and are contributing. Non-Annex countries are developing countries. Okay, and then there are Annex B countries that are actually contributing to the what do you call carbon or the sustainable development. Yeah, any country that is contributing to the sustainable development or the environmental protection is called an Annex B country. So those are all the countries that are present under Kyoto Protocol. Okay. Now, what is Nagoya? Benefit sharing. Does that include certified emission reductions? No. Clean development mechanism under Kyoto. What are present under Kyoto? Clean development mechanism. Other than that,
Emissions,
clean development mechanism. Okay. And that is under Paris. Joint implementation and carbon emission, carbon trading, joint implementation, and clean development mechanisms are part of Kyoto Protocol. So here you can see that first one and second one are wrong, third one is right. So answer is only 3. For this you need to have knowledge. So that is why I'm saying common sense and knowledge are very important. Agenda 21. It is a global action plan for sustainable development. Very generic statement. It is saying that it is a global action plan for sustainable development only. Okay. It is originated in the World Summit on Sustainable Development held at Johannesburg. What did I say? Anything that is international organization is usually wrong. Answer is? Sustainable Development Goals were first proposed in 1972 by a global think tank called Club of Rome. What is it? What is Club of Rome? International organization. Anything that is an international organization is usually Sustainable Development Goals have to be achieved by 2030. Common sense. We all know that Sustainable Development Goals have to be achieved by 2030. That's it. If you see here, there is a pattern. Greenhouse gas protocol. Now let us look at the options. It is talking about United Nations. United Nations is again here it is given United Nations. What is that? Fourth option, what is that? What are they? It is an international accounting tool for governments and business leaders to understand, quantify, and manage greenhouse gas emissions. Is there any international organization given there? Easy answer. What is Rio Plus 20 Summit? Again, you had to know that It is UNCSD. Until as you know that, you will not be able to answer this particular question. Earth hour. What is UNEP and UNESCO? It is a movement in which participants switch off the lights for 1 hour on a certain day of year. It is a movement to raise awareness about climate change and the need to save the planet. Both are very positive. Answer is 2 and 3. Consider the following international agreements: International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resource for Food and Agriculture, United Nations Convention on to Combat Desertification, the World Heritage Convention. How many of them are talking about biodiversity?
Biodiversity and adoption. No, that's CPD.
All are talking. So answer is 1 to 3. Is there anything that I have to think about? Do I actually have to know about UNCCD's mandate? No. Do I have to know about World Heritage Convention? No. I know that there is obviously some national parks or something that they are trying to conserve. Obviously, it will have biodiversity. They are conserving everything. Answer is 1 to 3. What did I use? Common sense. Cashew, papaya, and red sanders. Cashew is there, papaya is there, red sanders are. How many of them are native to India? I know that papaya has been brought in from Portuguese. Yeah. So 2 is wrong. Cashew also we do not have. It has been brought from Portuguese. But red sanders I know. Wait, what is red sanders? I watched the movie Pushpa. So I know that red sanders is native to India. Answer is only 1. Here usually people think that whenever UPSC gives any numbers, they're usually wrong. This shows that techniques do not work. Okay. Here, if someone who usually uses techniques looked at this question, they would firstly strike off option 2. What will happen if you strike off option 2? 2, 2, you only have 1 and 3. None of the statements are usually not wrong. So they'll take option 1. But if you actually look at the statements, that is why you need to read the statements. Even though you know all the elimination techniques, even though if I'm saying that international organizations are usually wrong, you have to read it. You have to know. Right? Do not go blindly with the elimination techniques. If you go blindly with elimination techniques, it will dissolve you. Okay. Rainforests produce more oxygen than that produced by oceans. Is it? No. Oceans have what? Phytoplanktons. All of them produce a lot of energy. I mean oxygen. Marine phytoplanktons and photosynthetic bacteria produce about 50% of world's oxygen. These both are what? Contradictory statements. Yeah? Well oxygenated surface waters contain several folds of higher oxygen than atmospheric air. No, only atmosphere. What is releasing oxygen? Oceans. Where will the oxygen go? Into the air. So who has more oxygen? Atmosphere. So obviously 3 statement is wrong. First statement is wrong. Which one is right? 2 only. If I had gone by the elimination technique, what would happen? Minus 0.66. This again, what do you call? Something that you had to know. Only when you would have known that lemongrass is something that repels mosquitoes, you could have been answering it right. Otherwise, no. Which of the following are nitrogen fixing plants? I know that chickpea is a legume. Yeah, peas are all leguminous plants, and leguminous plants are nitrogen fixing plants. So let us remove any option that do not has 3. Remove C and D. Just by knowing one option, I remove 2 options. Right? Now we are only left with 134 and 1356. From the options, it is clearly saying that 1 is right. What is 1? Alpha alpha. I don't know what even alpha alpha is, but I know that alpha alpha is right now. I know that chickpea is right, alpha alpha is right. Now it's saying 4, 5, 6. These are the 3 options now I left. Clover is there, kulfa is there, spinach is there. I don't know what kulfa is, I don't know what clover is, but I know what spinach is. Spinach is a vegetable. It has protein, right? It is not a legume. I know that spinach is not a legume. What will I do? I'll eliminate spinach. What is the answer that we have left? They have to know what alfalfa is. No. They have to know what porcelain is. I only had to use some common sense. That is one. Moringa, I guess we've seen that yesterday. In the nature, which of the following is or most likely to be found surviving on the surface without soil? Yeah? Fern. What is a fern? Plant. Where does it grow? Soil. So obviously it's using soil. First one is wrong. I know that lichens and moss grow in the Antarctic. So they do not need soil at all. They only need a surface. So 2 and 3 are right. But I don't know about mushroom. I know about mushroom, no. What is mushroom? Mushrooms usually go by the trees and they need soil. Answer is 2 and 3. Again, this is based on knowledge. These two questions are based on knowledge only. Right? Which one of the following leaf modifications occur in desert area to inhibit water loss? I have to know about xerophytic plants. Right? How do xerophytic plants happen? What are the features of xerophytic plants? Waxy leaves and tiny leaves. All these are ensuring that water loss is very low. All are right. So here you can see that consider the following states: Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Odisha. You had to know or you had to read the forest census. Right? Only if you read the forest census, then you will be able to answer that. Firstly, it is Maharashtra, then Madhya Pradesh, then Odisha, and then Chhattisgarh. This is very factual. Right? Read all of the surveys, all of the elephant surveys or the tiger surveys or the bird surveys that are happening, wetland surveys. Wetlands, I think it is actually important for in this year's UPSC. Read a little on wetlands because we have reached more than 100. Right? 99, no? Yeah, nearly 99. So read a little on wetlands. Yeah. Again, red sanders. With reference to red sanders, sometimes seen in the news, consider the following statements. It is a species found in part of South India. He's saying a part of South India we have red sanders. Okay. It is one of the most important trees in tropical rainforest. What is red sanders? It is a deciduous tree. I know that. So answer is with reference to neem tree, consider the following. Neem oil can be used as pesticide to control the proliferation of some species of insects and mites. It is avoiding extreme. What is it doing? Avoiding extreme. Neem seeds are used in manufacture of biofuels and hospital detergents. What is it saying? It's saying neem seeds are used. Means generally it's generalizing. But do we know that it is used or not? No. If it would have mentioned can be, then I would have considered this statement. But it's saying absolute. It's saying that are used. It is still being used. That is what it's saying. Neem oil has applications in pharmaceutical industry. It's very vague. And usually vague statements are right. If you remove 2, we have 1 and 3. For you to be observant of this, you need to be very aware. Right? For you to observe that there are used and that is giving an absolute statement, you have to be very aware because it is only giving, say, neem seeds are used in the manufacture of biofuels and hospital detergents. If you actually read it in a normal manner, it is fine. It is a fine statement. You would have ticked everything and you would have come. But UPSC has given you a hint in saying that are used. I'm not saying it can be. It's saying are used. So that is why you have to be very careful. That is why UPSC's exams are considered hard because there are 100 questions. You have to put a lot of energy on all of the questions. It's not that the questions are hard. It is the amount of energy that you put. As you keep on putting energy, what will happen? Your brain's energy will get down. So whenever you see an easy question, what will happen? As you have low energy, you will not be able to answer and you will fail. That is why UPSC is considered tough. It's not because of the questions. It is because of the energy that you use. If you are able to use your energy in an effective manner, you'll qualify. If you're not able to use your energy in an effective manner, what will happen? Yeah. If you travel through the Himalayas, you're likely to see which are the following plants naturally growing there. Yeah. Oak, rhododendron, and sandalwood. Where do you see sandalwood? South India. Do you see it on Himalayas? No. What is it saying? It's saying Himalayas and naturally growing. Obviously, it's not. So you remove 3. Yeah. Which of the following statements is or are correct regarding vegetative propagation of plants? Vegetative propagation, what does that mean? What does vegetative propagation mean? Yeah. Whenever there's a stem or a leaf or something that is cut and then it actually attached to another plant so that they can come up with a new plant, new variety. What does the question say? Vegetative propagation produces clonal population, meaning that it can clone. Yes, it can clone. Vegetative propagation helps in eliminating the virus. How can you eliminate something? You are attaching, if this particular plant has virus and you cut it and you put it on another plant, will the virus be eliminated? No, it will actually spread. So it's not eliminating. Remove 2. Clonal means cloning.
Cloning in plants, in science, it's happening.
Yeah, de-extinction.
Cloning of human beings is not happening, but plants produces clonal. Here we can use that word.
Yeah. Human genes are very complex. Plant genes are not that complex. So it is very hard for replicating or cloning a human, but for cloning a plant or some other things, it is actually easy. Okay. So yeah, vegetative propagation can be practiced most of the year. Again, it is avoiding extreme. Answer is what? 1 and 3. If you see here, I'm not doing anything. I'm not trying to explain also. I'm not trying to explain what vegetative propagation is. I'm not trying to explain what are the tree species that are present in Himalayas. What am I using? I'm only using my common sense. That is why this class is. Okay. I told you before also, this is not a rapid revision class. Rapid revision class is next week. Okay. Species or peculiar features, right? I had to know that tarantula is a spider. That is the only knowledge I needed. Tarantula is a spider. What is it again? It is an omnivorous crustacean. What is a crustacean? Can you give an example of crustacean? Crab. Crab is a crustacean. Spider is not. Spider belongs to a different family at all. Okay? So obviously one is wrong. Its natural habitat in India is only limited to some forest. Some people might think that it is given only, so that's why it's wrong. But it's given only some. Only some is a positive statement. So 2 is right. Its natural habitat is an arboreal species. Maybe. Obviously, we don't know whether the tarantula is there or not. I did not go and see the tarantula. Yeah. So it is a very positive statement. So that is also true. So 1 is true, and 2 is true, and 3 is true. What is the answer? Which one of the following shows a unique relationship with an insect that has co-evolved with it, and that is the only insect that can pollinate this tree? You had to know about fig wasps. There's a thing called fig wasp. Only if you had an idea of what fig wasp is, then you would have answered this question. Here, UPSC was trying to trick you with silk cotton. Silk cotton is not the same as silk. Silk is different, silk cotton is different. What is silk? Silk is animal fiber. But silk cotton is something that is as smooth as silk. It is still a cotton that is based on plant only. This is how UPSC will trick you. Yeah, your answer is A. Some microorganisms can grow in environment with temperature above boiling water. Yeah, some. It is a very Vague statement. Some microorganisms can grow in environments with temperature below freezing point of water. True. Some microorganisms can grow in highly acidic environment with a pH below 3%. There might be, yeah. All of these are chances. It is avoiding extreme. Whenever something about extreme, what is it? Usually? Which one of the following makes a tool with a stick? Sorry. Which one of the following makes a tool with a stick to scrape insects from a hole in a tree or a log or wood? What is it? Yeah, something that is closest to human. Orangutan is the closest to human compared to fish, cat, otter, and sloth bear. Obviously, orangutan. I only had to use my common sense that orangutan is a primate. Marsupials are not naturally found in India. True. He's saying not naturally. What is marsupial? Can you name some marsupials? Kangaroo. And koala. Koala bear is a marsupial. Sloth bear, marsupial. All of these are marsupials. Sloth, not sloth bear. Okay, sloth. They are not usually found in India naturally. If you actually bring them, they are found. Okay, so they are not naturally found in India. Marsupials can only thrive in montane grasslands with no predators. It's a very specific statement. It's saying that marsupials can only thrive in montane grasslands and only if there are no predators, meaning that they do not have any place. Yeah? Obviously, this statement is wrong. Some mushrooms have medicinal properties. Yes. Obviously, if 100 mushrooms are there, at least two will have medicinal properties. No. Some mushrooms have psychoactive properties. Yes, meaning that they are drugs. Some mushrooms have insecticidal properties, meaning they are avoiding all the insects. And some mushrooms have bioluminescent properties, meaning they are lighting up. There is high possibility that all of these are there. Yeah, you cannot go to every location and check, but there is high possibility. They are hard to prove facts. Yeah? That is why all 4 is the answer. Consider the following statements regarding Indian squirrels. They build nests by making burrows in the ground. We know the squirrels do. They store their food in materials like nuts and seeds. You've seen always, whenever you see squirrel, it is having any nut or seed. They are omnivorous, meaning that they eat insects or birds or something else. All of these are what? Normal facts. There's no need for you to open about squirrels and search. It is environment. You obviously see squirrels. You obviously have seen squirrels from your kid, small age. And you've seen that they have built nests or burrows, and then they're using seeds or nuts, and they're obviously omnivorous. There's nothing for me to say. Right? All the 3 is the answer. This is very specific. Right? Certain species of which one of the following organisms are well known as cultivators of fungi? It is ants. Ants are known as true cultivators of fungi. Right? True cultivators of fungi. Ants, termites, and ambrosia beetle. All of these are what? Fungi cultivating species. Only ants, termites, and ambrosia beetles are termite cultivating species. Which of the following detrivores? He's asking about detrivores. What are detrivores? What do they do? They decompose. Obviously, it decomposes. I know that earthworms decompose. Yeah, I don't know whether jellyfish decompose or not. I don't know what millipede is, but I know what seahorse is. What is a seahorse? It's a fish. Is it a detrivore? No, it is an amphibian. I'll remove 4. What is the answer? I didn't have to know what woodlice is. I didn't have to know what millipede is. I didn't have to know whether jellyfish was a what? Detrivore or not. Again, this is another factual question. Which of the following organisms perform waggle dance? They are dancing, yeah, for other of their kins to indicate directions and distance of a source of their food. It is usually honeybees. Honeybees usually dance and show that it is that side. Yeah. Consider the following animals: hedgehog, marmot, and pangolin. This is also very specific. I know what pangolin is. I know that if you studied environment, if you studied all the species, you would have come across pangolin. Pangolin is a critically endangered species. Yeah? Pangolin usually rolls in a ball whenever there's a predator coming. So I know that one pangolin is there. Let's remove some options where 3 is not there. Yeah? Hedgehog is there. Hedgehog is very small. We know that 2 is not there. Marmot is not rolling into ball to avoid predators. But hedgehog is a very small animal. But I know that hedgehog is a very small animal and that rolls into ball. But usually people might not know. This is where you take a chance. Yeah, you take a chance and you put the option with highest number of options. Yeah? That is another trick people use, but this trick's efficacy is 20%. Right? What is the trick? Whenever there are 2 options, and if that option has more number, that is right. That option's efficacy is how much? 20% only. So usually do not use this trick at all. If you mark 10 options like this, you will only get 2 right. So do not use this option or do not use this trick at all. Try to move away from tricks. This is my sincere suggestion for all of you guys. Try to move away from tricks. Try to learn what kind of questions UPSC is asking and what kind of manner, how do you have to study. For geography, you have to study factual content. You have to study concepts. For environment, you have to study and gain common sense. Okay, do that rather than depending on the elimination techniques. Sometimes they might work, but majority of the times they don't work. Yeah, which one of the following have symbiotic relationship with other organisms? Can symbiotic other organisms? It's generalized. Yeah, anything that is generalized is usually right. So protozoa, fungi, and cnidarians all are right because there is high chance. It is a very hard to prove fact. It's also something that is usually common in UPSC. If something that is hard to prove, they're usually right. I said no. Something that is usually hard to prove is usually right. So D. Some species of turtle are herbivores. Some species of fish are herbivores. Some species of marine mammals are herbivores. Some species of snakes are viviparous. Yes. What is viviparity or viviparous when it comes to snakes? Directly, without any egg. What are the snakes which have viviparity? Anaconda. And rattlesnake. Boa. All these are snakes that actually give live birth to snakes. So answer is all 4. Karai camel, a breed found in India. It is capable of swimming up to 3 kilometers in seawater. Yeah. It survives by grazing on mangroves. It lives in wild and cannot be domesticated. Why can't it be domesticated? It is just an animal. You can actually bring an animal and put here and actually feed it. If you can feed it, if you can actually stay here, obviously it can be domesticated. Obviously 3 is wrong. If you remove 3, what is happening? Again, this is a very factual statement and that you had to know because that is a current affair. What is it saying? Recently, our scientists have discovered a new and distinctive species of banana plant which attains a height of about 11 meters and has orange colored fruit pulp. In which part of India has it been discovered? You had to know it. Only if you would have known or read it somewhere, you will be able to answer this. It is in Andaman Islands. Okay. If you are if you walk through countryside, you're likely to see some birds stalking alongside cattle and seize insects disturbed by their movement through gases. Which of the following are those birds? What is it saying? If you're walking and you have seen some cattle and some birds are feeding on the birds, feeding on the insects. Now, have you ever seen a crane? Have you ever seen a crane? Are they near buffaloes or cattle? Where are they present? Cranes are usually present on buffaloes. Where are they present? Cranes are usually present in rivers, wetlands, swamps. They're not present in where you walk. You never see a crane where people walk because they do not stay there. Huh? Painted stork is also a crane-like animal. It's similar to crane. It also has a long beak. They also stay in swamps. So I only had to know about black-necked crane and painted stork. They all are similar to cranes. I'll show you what painted stork and black-necked crane are. Where is it? Is it near a buffalo or is it near cattle? Huh? Where is it? Oh. Answer is two only. Common myna. Common myna is a bird that is common in every land area. Among which of the following organisms, which one of the following does not belong to class of others? Crab, mite, scorpion, and spider. Which one is it? Which one does not belong to the other three? That is what it's asking. Crab. Crab is a crustacean. Crab lives in water. All of these are land-based. Right? They belong to a same family. Crab is a crustacean. Obviously, odd one out. National parks. Here you can see here. Among the following tiger reserves, which one has the largest area under critical tiger habitat? Corbett, Ranthambore, Nagarjuna, Srisalam. He's giving a hint. I'm giving you 2. 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is what? 2. So is it bigger or smaller? Obviously bigger. It is clearly showing you that Nagarjuna, Srisalam includes 2 aspects. So it is obviously bigger. Mark that option. Do not make any mistakes. That's what UPSC was saying. Okay? Answer is C here. Again, I told you that it is very important for you guys to look at the question and take hints from the question. And that one type of question is this. We've seen many questions, like where hint is given in the question. Is another question like this. Then which one of the following is protected areas are located in Kaveri Basin? What is Kaveri Basin? Which of the states are present in Kaveri Basin? Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, part of Tamil Nadu. Yeah, we have established that Kaveri Basin is in Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Now let us look at the options. Nagarhole, where is it? Karnataka. Satyamangalam, where is it? Tamil Nadu. Wayanad, where is it? Kerala. Papikonda, where is it? That's it. With reference to Indian Desert National Park, what is it saying? National Park. It is spread over 2 districts. It is just saying it's spread. There is no human habitation inside the park. What are the features of National Park? Means what are there? National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary. What can be done and what cannot be done? Can hunting be done in national parks? No. No hunting. Grazing? Restricted. What about people? Restricted. But it's not saying completely. It's saying restricted only. They're not allowed. But it's not absolute. But what is this statement? It's saying no human habitations inside the park. This absolute statement. Absolute statements are usually remove to. I only had to have information on what national park is. Where did I get that information from? The question. Yeah, that is how you have to be observant. Again, this is a very factual question. You have to know that Valley of Flowers Park is completely in the Alpine region. What did it ask? It asked which one of the following national parks is completely in the temperate alpine forest. How would I know? There are many national parks. Obviously, whenever you kind of come across these kind of questions, what would you do? You either leave or you answer. If you answer, you might get it right. And the chances are 1:4. Because if you put A, you're wrong. If you put B, you're wrong. If you put C, you're wrong. If you put D, you're right. So you only have 1 in 4 chances of getting this one right. Instead of taking those chances, I would ask you guys to leave these kind of questions. Yeah. Again, this is a factual question. Fakui is in Manipur. Look at this question. Which one of the following are in Agastya Malai Biosphere Reserve? Agastya Malai is in Western Ghats. Yeah, it's in Western Ghats. We have established that it is in Western Ghats. Now let us look at the options. Nayar, Pepar, Cherundai, and Kalakkad and Mudanthurai. I'm sorry if I spelled all of these tiger reserves and national parks wrong. I do not want to hurt anyone or any particular state. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. Mudumalai, Satyamangalam, Wayanad, Wildlife Sanctuaries, and Silent Valley National Park. They're all again in Western Ghats. Kaundinya, Gundala, Brahmaswaram, Papikonda. Papikonda, where is it? AP. Where is AP? So C is wrong. Kawal, Sri Venkateshwara Wildlife Sanctuary, Nagarjuna Srisalam, where is it? Just by knowing that they both are from Eastern Ghats, I've eliminated 2 aspects. Yeah, but from these you have to choose, and as most of them are here, this is A. Okay, this is again a choice. It's very hard choice, because you'll not be able to answer these kind of questions very easily. That is why you need to study all of the national parks that are present in South India. Yeah, study all of the national parks that are present in South India and all of the wetlands that are present in North India. Wetlands in North India and national parks and wildlife sanctuaries in South India. Use these two because most of the questions are coming from these areas. Wildlife sanctuaries and national parks from South India, wetlands and all from North India. Biological oxygen demand is a standard criteria for. Is it for measuring oxygen level in blood? No. Is it for computing oxygen level in forest system? No. Is it for assessing oxygen level in high altitude regions? No. It is for pollution, checking the pollution in aquatic ecosystem. What is BOD?
If the dissolved oxygen is more, then it requires the
Biological oxygen demand is nothing but the oxygen that the particular microbe is demanding to degrade the organic matter. Right? For the microbe to work, it needs energy. Where does it get energy from? It gets from oxygen. And what does it need for energy? To degrade the organic matter. So the amount of oxygen required by the microbe to degrade the organic matter is nothing but biological oxygen demand. As the BOD increases, what will happen? The dissolved oxygen in the water decreases because Microbe is taking all of the oxygen. Okay, that is why it is an assay of pollution in aquatic ecosystem. This is again factual. It is knowledge based only. Which one of the following is best description of ecosystem? Let us look at the options. A community of organisms interacting with one another. Okay, this is close. A part of earth which is inhabited by living organisms. No. A community of organisms together with the environment in which they live. Again, this is close. The flora and fauna of a geographical area. These two are close. Now let us look at which one is broad. Okay, we have eliminated two. We are left with two options. Now let us look at the option that is more broad. A community of organisms interacting with one another, meaning that only organisms are interacting. Here, a community of organisms together with environment in which they live, meaning biotic and abiotic. That is nothing but ecosystem. Always go with the broader option. UPSC will only ask broad questions, right? Here, look at this, a very silly question. This again, I think, common sense for everyone. Which one of the following is the process involved in photosynthesis? Potential energy is released from free energy. Free energy is converted into potential energy and stored. Food is oxidized to release carbon dioxide and water. Oxygen is taken and carbon dioxide and water vapor are given out. What does plant do in photosynthesis? Water vapor? Are you sure? Why does it give a water vapor? Why does plant give water vapor? Not give water vapor. What happens when photosynthesis happens? It takes energy, photosynthesis happens, and it stores the energy. And the herbivores eat and they get energy. So what is it doing? Photosynthesis is mainly storing energy. Which is the option that's saying storing energy? Free energy is converted into potential energy and stored. Right? B is the answer. Which one of the following is the correct sequence of a food chain? What is a diatom? Diatom. What is a diatom? We know what a crustacean is. What is a crustacean? Example, crab. We've known that crab is a crustacean. So obviously, if you put it in chronology, that won't be in first. Right? First would be primary producer. Diatom is nothing but a primary producer. Algae, phytoplanktons, all of that is what? Diatoms only. Yeah? Firstly, diatom. Remove the option where diatom is not first. After diatom, what is there? Crustacean. And you see, herring is there. Crustacean is right. Answer is okay. I had to know the chronology. Herrings are fish, big fish that actually eat crustaceans. Okay. Oh. We are still on the 7th one. Huh? There are actually 21 topics. Okay, I think the questions will actually decrease. There's no need for you to worry. I'll ensure that I finish all of these in a swift manner. Invasive species specialty groups. He's talking about invasive species specialty groups. Okay, which are the following organizations talks about invasive species? Is it UNEP? Is it United Nations World Commission for Environment and Development? Is it Worldwide Fund for Nature? What talks? Are you seeing on common sense? Yeah. The Climate Group is an international non-profit organization that drives climate action by building large network runs. The International Energy Agency partnership with Climate Group launched a global initiative. What is this? What is it? International organization. Who is wrong? EP100 brings together leading companies committed to driving innovation in energy efficiency and increasing competitiveness while driving emission reduction goals. It's very static. Yeah. Some Indian companies are members of EP100. Some, avoiding extreme. International Energy Agency is a secretariat for U2 coalition. What is it? So what are we eliminating? 5 and 2. Let us look at the options. If I just eliminate 5, what is the answer?
Sir, how you check the fourth option?
Some. It is not an extreme. It's saying some. Okay. Yeah. Momentum for change. Again, this is a factual statement. You had to know that it is UNFCCC Secretariat. That is actually for the moment of change and launch the initiative. With reference to the Global Alliance of Climate Smart Agriculture, which of the following are correct? GASCA is an outcome of climate summit held in Paris in 2015. GASCA does not create any binding obligations. It's avoiding extreme. It is saying it's not creating any binding obligations. India was instrumental in creation of GASCA. It's saying instrumental. It is saying it's not the founder of GASCA. It's saying instrumental, meaning supported. Again, general statement. What is this? GASCA is an outcome of climate summit held in Paris 2015. Answer is 2 and 3. I'm seeing the pattern here. It's very easy, right? You just need awareness and you just need calm mind whenever you're answering UPSC papers. Otherwise, everything is easy. If you do not have a calm mind, right, ensure that the last 10 days or the last 15 days, everything is set around you. Do not talk to any relative. They'll come and discourage you. How is the preparation going? They'll ask you what is going on. Will you clear this year? Right? You're getting old. Maybe you need to get married. You need to get a job. They'll tell you all of these. So it'll start to build pressure. So I would suggest you guys to stay away from anything that is disrupting your peace. Right? For the next 15, 20 days, let's say 20 days, do not talk to anyone. Right? Only be by yourself. Do not go to any negative people. If there is anyone going and telling you that this will not happen, come to the software job, right? Don't talk to them at all, because they are doing what they want. They only want to disrupt you because you are on your own path. You are doing what you want. They are not doing what they want. They want to disrupt you. Okay, so do not talk to anyone who is negative, and do not go into any fights. Okay, for the next 20 days, you need calm mind, because on the exam day, your mind should only be on clearing prelims and writing mains. Okay. Yeah. Brazil, Indonesia, and Madagascar. Yesterday I told you that whenever there are 3 options, 3 option box, UPSC is giving any answer. There's no particular trick for 3 option boxes. So whenever you get 3 option box, be a little aware. Okay. Brazil, Indri, elk, Indonesia, and bonbo, Madagascar. All of these 3 are wrong. Yeah, none of them are native. Which of the following are most likely to places to find musk deer? Again, this is a very factual statement. You had to know that they both are present in Ashok Wildlife Sanctuary and Gangotri National Park. Only then you will be able to answer A. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to answer musk deer. So whenever you are studying environment, study of the critically endangered species and where they are present. So that is why national parks in all in south and all the wetlands in north. We know that Indian swamp deer is usually present in Kanha National Park. This is a factual statement. Asiatic lion is naturally found in India only. Double-humped camel is naturally found in India only. And one-horned rhino is naturally found in India only. This is clearly UPSC mocking all the people who follow all the, elimination techniques. UPSC gave only in all of the 3 statements. Now you cannot eliminate all. Can you eliminate all? It's saying there is one right answer. It's saying that you cannot use any elimination technique. No, you have to. You have to come up with your mind. You have to use your common sense. Yeah. Asiatic lion, we know that it is present in India. You know that. Double-humped camel, we don't know. We don't know that double-humped camel is only present in India. But we know that Asiatic lion is present in India. Let's remove all of the options without one. Only B is gone. Double-humped camel is not naturally present in India. No, it is not naturally present in India. It's present in many areas in the Afghanistan, it is present in all the areas. It's not only India. Then you have one-horned rhino. Even that is not present in India. It is only present in India and Nepal. So even 3 is wrong. A1 only is the answer. It is UPSC clearly mocking all of the people who are following the elimination techniques. Obviously, UPSC knows that there is some videos that are circulating where it's saying elimination techniques are going on. What will happen if any chairperson of UPSC sees? He'll say that, acha, you want to follow the elimination techniques? Sorry. We'll put questions that ensure that there's no elimination technique is used. And now many videos are there. If you actually open YouTube now, you will get elimination technique video from each and every UPSC channel, because it knows, or YouTube channels knows, that people will search all the elimination techniques now, because everyone wants shortcuts. No one wants to actually study. UPSC wants you guys to study. So that is why it will remove all of the elimination techniques. Okay. Sometimes it might work, but majority of the times it will not work. Okay. So do not focus on elimination techniques, rather depend on your caliber. Bluefinned Mahashir is a fish. I don't know whether it's Kaveri River or not. Irrawaddy dolphin, Chambal River. I know that Irrawaddy dolphin is in Irrawaddy River. And the other aspect is that Irrawaddy is in Chilka Lake. Chilka Lake, that is in Odisha. But it's not in Chambal River. What is there? Gangetic dolphin. If the option would have been Gangetic dolphin, it would have been right. They gave Irrawaddy dolphin. If you remove 2, I didn't have to know whether bluefinned Mahashir was in Kaveri or rusted spotted cat was in Eastern Ghats. If you see here, Kaveri River is the most famous river for UPSC. So learn everything about Kaveri. It has asked about Kaveri many times. Even in geography, we have seen Kaveri Basin. Even in environment, we are seeing Kaveri Basin. We are seeing Kaveri River also. So learn a lot about Kaveri and South Indian rivers. Okay. Which one of the following groups of plants was domesticated in New World and introduced in Old World? What is New World and Old World? New World is? So is Europe New World? Only North America and South America are New World. North America and South America are New World, whereas Asia, Europe, and Africa are Old World. Okay. It's saying how many of them have been domesticated in New World and introduced to Old World. Here they have been domesticated and they have been introduced in Asia, Europe, and Africa. Tobacco is domesticated in North America. Cocoa, it is domesticated in South America, in Amazon. Rubber, again in Amazon basin. So it is A. You had to know this. Otherwise, it will be very hard for you guys. Many people think that it is cotton, but it's not cotton, it is cocoa. Yeah. Again, factual. Which one of the following has been constituted under EPA? It is Central Groundwater Authority. Others all have been through different acts. Here you can see that at national level, which ministry is the nodal agency to ensure effective implementation of scheduled tribes? What is it talking about? Scheduled tribes. So which ministry would handle scheduled tribes? Simple. Where did you get the answer from? The question itself. So questions are very important. Okay. This is not important for us because they removed Schedule 6. There's a need for you to know Schedule 6 is there or not. 36% of India's districts are classified as overexploited or critical by Central Groundwater Authority. Central Groundwater Authority was formed under EPA Act. India has the largest area under groundwater irrigation. We know that. We know that India has highest amount groundwater irrigation. So what do we know? 2 is right, 3 is right. We don't know whether 1 is right or wrong. Let's look at the options. 2 is right, 3 is right. UPSC knows.
If you don't know first option, which one you would select?
Then I would actually eliminate option 1 because it has a fact. It has a number. And usually that UPSC says that, I mean, whenever there's a elimination technique that says that if there are facts, usually they are wrong. Okay. The reason I am stressing on usually is because I don't want you guys to rely completely on these. Okay. Do not rely on elimination techniques. I'm only telling you guys to see or how the questions are being made and what kind of questions you are going to expect in the 2026. Right? These are the kind of questions you will expect, where everything is based on common sense and where everything is based on questions only, where you will get the answer from directly from the question. We have solved many questions where the hint was given in the question only, right? So environment, what can you expect? One, study the question. Two, use common sense. CPCB, all of these very very factual, right? Learn all of these CPCB, what is CPCB, what are the acts, learn of the acts. They'll give you generic questions from the acts only. So do not stress much on acts. They'll usually give 1-2 questions max. That too max. I mean, least case scenario is no question. Least case scenario is getting no question from acts. Best case scenario is getting 1 or 2 questions. Okay. So do not focus on acts that much, but study all of the acts. Direct air capture. It can be used as a way for carbon sequestration. How does direct air capture work? Direct air capture. How does it work? How will you? How will you capture directly from the air? Basically, there is an outlay, right? Outlay, and there is a turbine where the air will come inside, and this air will directly pass through a solution. It's called an amine solution. It will pass through an amine solution, which will react with all of the air and capture all of the carbon, and then release all of the air out. And this air does not have carbon at all. This is how direct air capture works. Okay, he's saying it can be used as a way for carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration is nothing but capturing the carbon and storing it for a long time. You can store it either in natural gas reserves, or in afforestation, or forests, or soil, or sea. In all of these, you can sequester. It can be a valuable approach for plastic production and food processing, meaning that you can use carbon. Right? You can use carbon to directly capture and use in food production and food processing and plastic production. In aviation, it can be a source of carbon for combining with hydrogen to create synthetic low carbon fuel. It can, meaning that if you have carbon, you can use it in n number of ways. If you want, you can build bricks with carbon. You can do whatever you want with carbon. That is what it's saying. It is giving you possibilities. We can use it in food processing. We can use it in plastic production. We can use it in aviation fuel. It is only giving possibility. That is positive. And anything that is positive is usually right. Activated carbon is a good and attractive tool to remove pollutants from effluent streams and remediate contaminants from various industries. They're saying this is right. Activated carbon can be used. Okay, how can it be used? Activated carbon exhibits a large surface area and strong potential for absorbing heavy metals. What is adsorption? Sticking to the surface. It's not absorbing. It is sticking to the surface. So activated carbon has usually high adsorption, meaning they have high pores. So they can actually collect a lot of pollutants. Activated carbon can easily be synthesized from environment, waste, and high carbon content. How is activated carbon usually formed? Activated carbon. What do they do? Burning? Are you sure it's burning? Incineration is usage of oxygen. If you use oxygen, what? Pyrolysis. Biochar or activated carbon is usually formed through pyrolysis. Yeah, it is usually formed through pyrolysis. Answer is A. Both 2 and 3 explain each other. With reference to biofilters, what is saying? It's talking about biofilter in recirculating aquaculture system. Biofilter provides waste treatment by removing uneaten fish feed. What is it doing? It's filtering. It's doing its job. Biofilters convert ammonia present in fish waste to nitrate. It is a filter that is biological in nature. It is taking ammonia, it is converting it to nitrate. Yeah, true. Biofilter increases phosphorus. How can a filter increase phosphorus? It is a filter. What will it do? It will remove harmful substances. It cannot increase phosphorus, obviously. So option 3 is wrong. Again, this is a current affair, BioArk technology. Right? BioArk technology is nothing but restoration of damaged coral reefs. This is a subtle hint given by UPSC. Okay, it's saying R2 code of practices constitute a tool available for promoting the adoption of. Can you guys guess the hint that UPSC has given in this particular options? It's saying 2 hours. R2, meaning there are 2 hours. Where are 2 hours given here? There's no R at all. There's one resource. There is no R at all. There's no R at all. One Ramsar. Here, responsible and recycling. R2. Very subtle hint. UPSC is saying, I'll not give you direct hints, but I'll give you indirect hints. This is the indirect hint that UPSC gave. In the context of WHO air quality guidelines, consider the following statements. The 24-hour mean of PM 2.5 should not exceed 15 micrograms and annual mean of PM 2.5 should not exceed 5 micrograms. Right? Usually when people see this 15 or 5, they will eliminate. What will happen if you eliminate? You'll get 2, 3, 4. But you have to read. Even if you know all of the elimination techniques, I would suggest you guys to read. Read all of these statements. Do not let go just by knowing that I know an elimination technique, I'll eliminate this particular option and I'll get the answer. Do not do that. Okay. In a year, the highest level of ozone pollution occurred during the periods of inclement weather. I don't even know what inclement weather is. But I know that PM10 cannot penetrate the lung barrier. What is it saying? It's saying that PM10 can penetrate the lung barrier. It cannot. Only PM 2.5 can. Let us remove 3. We have A and C gone. We only have 1, 4 and 1, 2. Now I know that 1 is right. It's clearly given from the options. It's 1 is right. Now let us see 1 and 4 and 2 and 4. In a year, the highest level of ozone pollution can occur during the periods of inclement weather. Excessive ozone in the air can trigger asthma. Which one would you choose? Obviously, you would choose 4 because it is saying can. Please the answer. In a rural road construction, the use of which of the following is preferred for ensuring environmental sustainability to reduce carbon footprint? I know that copper slag. What is slag? Byproduct. Something that is byproduct which is all devoid of impurities. It only has some nutrients like phosphorus, potassium, all of these nutrients are there in slag. So obviously copper slag is used because it is, wait for the program. I've been using the board for so long that the board is not working. Remove and put it again. Oh, super. Yeah. Now I know that it's not knowing. Okay, we'll use this. Or we'll use this. Okay, we'll use this one. It's not working. Yeah. I know that copper slag is actually full of nutrients. So I'll use 1. Remove something that does not have 1. We have 1, 2, 3 and 1, 5. So 4 is obviously wrong. We also know that out of 2 similar statements, 1 similar statement is right. If cold asphalt mix and hot asphalt mix, if 4 is wrong, which one is right? 2 is right. Now let us look at the options where 2 is right. Answer is A only. It is UPSC clearly giving hints, nothing else. I do not even know what geotextile is. I don't even know what Portland cement is. I don't even know what asphalt is. I only know that copper slag is devoid of impurities and it can be used in environmental sustainability. That's all I know. Based on that, I eliminated everything and got with an answer. Steel slag can be the material for which or the following. As I told you, steel slag. What is slag? Slag is something that is devoid of impurities. So it can be used in construction of base roads. It can be used in improvement of agricultural soil and can be improved in production of cement. So all 3. So okay, we are nearing because after this only, we still have 5 pages. We completed 19 pages, we still have 5 pages. So there's no need for you to worry. It will be done as soon as possible. Yeah. In the context of pyrolysis, we talked about pyrolysis. What does pyrolysis do? What does it do? It converts waste to energy. How? By lacks of oxygen. Pyrolysis is usually done in anaerobic conditions. Okay. So D is the answer. Lions do not have a particular breeding season. Okay. Obviously, they are mammals. They have different hormones. So obviously, they do not have a particular breeding season. Unlike most of the other big cats, cheetahs do not roar. If you actually see that cheetahs are cats, cheetahs actually purr. They do not roar at all. So this is a fact that you have to know to answer this question. This is true. Unlike male lions, male leopards do not proclaim their territory by scent marking. All of the cat species do territory marking. That everyone knows. Even dogs do. All the cats do. So why wouldn't cheetahs do? If you remove 3, what is the answer? How many of the above have poisonous species among them? There are thousands of butterfly species. There are thousands of frog species and thousands of fish species. Obviously, there is a chance that they have poisonous species. True, there is high possibility. So, all 3. Golden marshir. What is golden marshir?
Fish.
Fish. Why? We have seen that blue marshir is a fish that is present in where? Kaveri. This is how UPSC PYQs will help. Okay. How many of the above are generally nocturnal? What is nocturnal?
Both day and night time.
That is diurnal. Active at night time is nocturnal. Now, what is a lion-tailed macaque? The monkey, meaning it's a primate. We are also primates. Do we have nocturnal vision? No. So primates do not have nocturnal vision. I just needed to have that common sense that primates do not have nocturnal vision. If I remove 1, what is there? Malabar civets and summer deers. Those 2 have obviously nocturnal vision because predators are there. They come at night and they eat. So they have nocturnal vision. And this was a question at that time. I think this was a bouncer question. Many people did not expect a question on elephant at all. Right? Leader of an elephant group is a female. Not sure. The maximum gestation period can be 22 months. An elephant can normally go on calving till the age of only 40 years. 40 years only. You'll eliminate 3. If you eliminate 3, what is there? Among states in India, the highest elephants population is in Kerala. You know that it's not Kerala, it's Karnataka. If you remove 4, what is the option? Did I have to know that it is the leader of an elephant? Is the leader of elephant female? No. Did I have to know that its maximum gestation period can be 22 months? No. I just had to know that it is not, and the only aspect that we are going to eliminate is only. This is again very factual. Okay, one of the two major ethanol producers in the world, Brazil and USA. The former produces more ethanol than the latter, meaning that Brazil produces more ethanol than USA. If you actually looked at the stats, USA produces more than Brazil. So first statement is wrong. Unlike the United States of America, where corn is principal feedstock for ethanol production, sugarcane is the principal feedstock production for ethanol in Brazil. It's again very factual. It's a very factual question. Only if you had,
How much percentage ethanol is used?
not sure. Yeah, you can go and check once. Yeah, try to check once. Otherwise, it's not that important. 100%. Yeah, it's not that important, but okay, let's check. Because it asked about ethanol a lot of times, it is better to check. Yeah. So answer is first statement is not correct, second statement correct. There's no need for you to know that second statement is correct or not. If first statement is wrong, then what? Obviously, it is D. According to the Indian National Policy of Biofuels, which of the following can be used as materials for production of biofuel? Here, cassava, damaged wheat grain, groundnut seeds, horse gram, rotten potatoes, and sugar beet are there. Now I know that horse gram and groundnut seeds are what? Leguminous. Leguminous, and they have nitrogen. And they are mainly based on protein. Proteins are something that are complex. You have to break that down. Cassava is not legume. It's not. It is starch.
It is underground.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that is legume, no. Yeah. Groundnuts and horse gram have protein content. And usually whenever something that contains protein is not used for biofuel, because it is very hard for turning them into protein. First you have to break down the protein, then you have to take the amino acids, then you have to use it for production of biofuel. So 3 and 4 are wrong. Remove 3 and 4. 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 4. The only option you have left is A. Right? It's okay. We are near. We only have 4 pages more. In the context of proposals to the use of hydrogen enriched CNG as a fuel for buses in the public transport, consider the following statements. The main advantage of the use of HCNG is the elimination of carbon monoxide emission. Elimination. How can something eliminate? Right? No matter what, CNG is there. CNG means compressed natural gas. Again, it has, if it is combusted, what will happen? Carbon monoxide will be produced. So obviously it cannot eliminate. One is wrong. HCNG as a fuel reduces carbon dioxide and hydrocarbon emissions. It's saying reduces. It is not saying eliminate. Two is right. Hydrogen up to 1/5 by volume can be blended with CNG as fuel buses. We're not sure. We never know. Yeah? HCNG makes the fuel less expensive than CNG. See here, CNG is there and there is HCNG. In HCNG, you are adding hydrogen. So meaning you are putting more investment. So is HCNG costly or cheap? Obviously. This is common sense point. So this is obviously wrong. So answer is, if you remove 1 and 4, what is the answer? 20. Which one of the following is a filter feeder? It is the oyster, right? Oyster is usually known as a filter feeder. From the oysters, we get pearls, yeah, because they feed the filter and they create it into a pearl. That's why they call oysters. Blue carbon, right? Let us look at the options which says blue carbon. Carbon present in the atmosphere. Does it say blue? No. Carbon contaminated in petroleum and natural gas. It's only talking about fossil fuels. Carbon sequestered in forest and biomass. It's talking about sequestration. Carbon captured by oceans and coastal ecosystems. Only one option that is talking about blue. That option is right. Consider the following statements or following kinds of organisms where primary producers are in the food chain of the ocean. What are the primary producers here? Diatom. Diatom is a primary producer. Remove something that does not have 3. Forma minifera is a, what do you call, parasite. It's a, what do you call, amoeba type, right? It does not produce, it consumes food. 4 is wrong. Something that is bacteria is always a producer. Answer is? Okay. Yeah. You're using only common sense, nothing else. Yeah. Indian flying fox is placed under vermin category in the Wildlife Protection Act 1973. Indian flying fox feeds on blood of other animals. Just because it's a fox doesn't mean that it is feeding on blood of other animals. Obviously. So obviously second statement is wrong. If you remove the second statement, what is it? See. With reference to Indian laws about wildlife protection, consider the following statements. Wildlife are the sole property of the government. Is it? Wildlife are the sole property of government. Is it true? Why not? Hmm? Yes, because it is only taking control of zoos. It is only taking control of all the wetlands and national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. So when it's taking care of everything, all the wild animals are sole property of what? Government only. When a wild animal is declared protected, such animal is entitled for equal protection whether it is found in protected area or outside. Yes. If I say that tiger is protected, even if it is in this room, it is still protected only. Yeah. So 2 is also right. Apprehension of a protected wild animal becoming danger to human life is sufficient ground to capture it for killing it. What is apprehension? Suspecting that this tiger might kill me, I will kill him. That does not work now. Obvious 3 is wrong. Remove 3. You know that 2 is right. 1 is also right. Yeah. Another question where the etymology works. Right. Once the central government notifies an area as community reserve, the chief wildlife warden of the state becomes the governing authority of such forest. Is it? What is the reserve? What kind of reserve is that? Community reserve. And who will be the governing authority? Community. Why would a chief wildlife warden come? If it is community reserve, I'm giving the community the power to take care of that reserve. Who will be there? Community will be there. Why would chief wildlife warden come? So 1 is wrong. Hunting is not allowed in such an area. True. People of such area are allowed to collect non-timber forest produce. True. People of such area are allowed to do traditional practices. Agriculture practice, if you do, what will happen? Slash and burn. All of these happen. What will happen then? The reserve will die. So, India's extended producer responsibility. Again, this is a very factual question. You had to know that extended producer responsibility is part of e-waste management. Solid Waste Management Rules 2016. Let's look at the options. Waste generator has to segregate waste into 5 categories. Rules are applicable to notified urban local bodies, notified towns, and all industry and townships only. It is very narrow. Rules provided for exact elaborate criteria for identification of sites for landfill and waste produce facilities. Sounds a little right. It is mandatory on part of waste generator that waste generated in one district cannot be moved to another district. Why not? How will you dispose them? D is also wrong. So we eliminated B and D. We only have A and C. Waste generator has to segregate 5 categories. Which one is more broad? This one or this? It is asking rules provided for exact elaborate criteria for the identification of sites for landfills and waste processing facilities. This is only talking about what? Categorizing. This is talking about processing. Which is broader? Are you noticing the pattern? I'm showing all of this is because 150 questions. All of the 150 questions only have common sense and broad statements. Right? Nothing else is there. Are you noticing anything else? No. Parasitoid species. What is a parasitoid? Parasitoid. Parasitoid. Meaning that whenever they are young, they leech onto some external and they survive till they become big. Yeah. They leech whenever they are in the larvae stage, they feed onto a living organism, and when they become big, they kill that organism. That is called a parasitoid. And for this, you need to have understanding that wasps, flies, and carbide beetles are parasitoids. Okay, this is a very factual statement. You had to know it. So only 3. Cassava is a woody shrub. Ginger is a herb with pseudostem. Malabar spinach is a herbaceous climber. Mint is an annual shrub, and papaya is a woody shrub. Is papaya a woody shrub? No, papaya is a fruit. It is a herbaceous plant. So obviously 5 is wrong. D is wrong. And mint is not a shrub at all. What is mint? Mint is a herb. Yeah. So obviously 4 is also gone. Now we know that cassava is a woody shrub and ginger is a pseudostem. What is pseudostem? It is nothing but a root that is acting like a stem. Okay. What are the other pseudostems? Banana, turmeric, and ginger. All these are pseudostems. Okay. So answer is all 3. Only 3. Okay. I'll try to go a little further, and wherever there is option or wherever there is scope for understanding. Which one of the following statements best describes carbon fertilization? It's talking about carbon fertilization. What does the fertilizer do? Fertilizer. Enhance production. So let us look at the options where carbon is being utilized to enhance. Adaptation of all living beings on Earth to climate change brought about by the increase in concentration of carbon dioxide. It's not talking about increase in growth at all. It's talking only adaptation. Increased acidity of oceans. It's not talking about growth. Increased temperature of Earth. It's not talking about growth. Increased plant growth due to increased concentration of carbon dioxide in atmosphere. As the atmosphere grows in carbon dioxide, what is happening? What do plants take in? Carbon dioxide. When there is more carbon dioxide, there is more food for the plants. So what will happen? More plants will grow. That's nothing but carbon fertilization. 6th mass extinction. What are the 5 mass extinctions? There are 5 mass extinctions. What are the 5 mass extinctions? Devonian, late Devonian, Ordovician, and Silurian. This is the first mass extinction, Silurian, Ordovician and Silurian, then Devonian or late Devonian. Then you have Triassic, and then you have Triassic and Jurassic. And lastly, you have Paleogene, where all of the 5 mass extinctions happened. And lastly, we have 6th mass extinction where Holocene is there. Holocene is the 6th mass extinction, which is mainly based on mankind's overexploitation or misuse of natural resources. Okay, this is again as a factual statement. Yeah, we have come close. We only have 18, 19, 20, and 21. Yeah, wetland. I told you that whenever you are studying wetlands, you study wetlands from North India. Why? Okera is in Jammu and Kashmir. Renuka is in Himachal. Rudrasagar is in Tripura. Satsangkotta is in Kerala. Yeah. So answer is only 2. Study all of the wetlands that are present in North India. If a rainforest and tropical forest are the lungs of Earth, then surely wetlands function as kidneys. It's saying that wetlands function as kidneys. What is the function of kidney? purification, right? What do kidneys do? They purify. We know the fact that kidneys purify. Now let us look at the option where it is showing purification. Water cycle in wetland involves surface runoff, subsoil percolation, and evaporation. Not talking about purification. Algae from nutrient base upon which fish, crustacean, mollusks, birds, and reptiles and mammals thrive. Not talking about purification. Wetlands play a vital role in maintaining sedimentation and balance of soil stabilization. Not talking about purification. Aquatic plants absorb heavy metals and excess nutrients. What is it doing? Absorbing. Function of kidney. Where's the hint? Hint is given in the question only. Right? In India, the biodiversity management communities, again, this is very static. Okay, I'll not do something static now because it's too much energy consumption for you guys. Yeah. Under Ramsar Convention, it is mandatory on the part of the government of India to protect all wetlands. Right? Mandatory and all wetlands. Extreme statements. Remove one. You only have 2 and 3. Now you know that 3 is right. Wetland Rules 2010 were framed by Government of India based on Ramsar Convention's recommendations. No, it's based on Ministry of Environment. Right. Now, what are the wetland rules? Under which act have they been brought? Wetland rules. We are currently under Wetland Rules 2017. Wetland Rules 2017. Under which act is it implemented? EPA, Environmental Protection Act 1986, is under which the wetland rules have been announced. Okay. Now, what are the exceptions for wetlands? Meaning that which of the following are not considered as wetlands under wetland rules? Which cannot be declared as wetlands? River channels. River channels cannot be declared as wetland.